Greetings. Section 21C and I water uses are triggered by activities taking place within the Department of Water and Sanitation's regulated area of a watercourse, and certain listed activities, like listed activity 12 of listing notice 1, are also triggered by development activities taking place within 32 meters of a watercourse. So in this video, we depart from our series most common recurring non-compliances and unpack the legislation to clarify exactly what is the edge of a watercourse. Welcome. My name is Sean McGregor of Ecoleges Environmental Consultants based in Mpumalanga, South Africa. And we're on a mission that is to empower all South Africans to protect their environment through the correct interpretation and application of our environmental legislation. So if you want to learn how our environmental law applies to you and how to avoid accidentally triggering a listed activity or water use without the required authorization, and so to then avoid potential prosecution or penalties, or if you simply want to increase the internal capacity of your company by increasing the knowledge and skills of your staff to make environmentally responsible decisions without having to rely on external consultants, then you'll want to subscribe to this channel. You can subscribe by swiping on the logo to the bottom right hand side of your screen. I think that's here. Don't forget to click on the bell notification icon so that you can be notified the moment we upload a new video. And please, if you do find value in these videos, or you know of someone else who can benefit from them, like them. We sincerely appreciate the support and help to spread the message. Thank you. So let's get started. The title of this video is aptly, what is the edge of a watercourse? Now, the National Water Act and the National Environmental Management Act agree on their definitions of a watercourse. A watercourse is a river, a spring, a natural channel which flows intermittently or regularly, wetland, pan, lake or dam. And reference to a watercourse includes, where relevant, its bed and banks. So generally speaking, a watercourse would include any surface water resource with the exception of an estuary or the sea. And the definition of a wetland is land which is transitional between aquatic and terrestrial systems, where the water table is at or near the surface, or land which is periodically covered with shallow water, and which land under normal circumstances supports vegetation that is suited or adapted to life in saturated soil. So let's start with the National Water Act, or the Department of Water and Sanitation's definition for the edge of a watercourse. We have taken our definitions from the general authorizations for Section 21C and I, published in Government Notice 509 on the 26th of August 2016. Now, there are actually three terms used by the Department of Water and Sanitation. That is the regulated area of a watercourse, which includes in its definition reference to the edge of a watercourse, and then thirdly, the extent of a watercourse. So let's start with the extent of a watercourse. It is defined as the outer edge of the 1 in 100 year floodline, or delineated riparian habitat, whichever is the greatest distance measured from the middle of a watercourse of a river, spring, natural channel, lake or dam. And B, it is the delineated boundary, that is the outer edge of the temporary zone of any wetland or pan. Then we have the regulated area of a watercourse. So I'm looking to find out where I need to get in here. And that is defined as A, the outer edge of the 1 in 100 year floodline, and or delineated riparian habitat, whichever is the greatest distance. B, in the absence of a determined 1 in 100 year floodline or riparian area, then it is within 100 meters from the edge of a watercourse, where the edge of a watercourse is identified as the first identifiable annual bank fill flood bench. And C, a 500-meter radius from the delineated boundary, that is the outer temporary zone or extent of any wetland or pan. Now I want to return back to my reference to the edge of a watercourse, or specifically the first identifiable annual bankful flood bench. The department's practical field procedure for identification and delineation of wetlands and riparian areas refers to a flood bench as that area between the active channel and the macro channel. I want to show that to you here. So to the left hand side is the stream, in front of us is the flood bench, usually covered with vegetation and regularly inundated by annual flooding. Compare that to the terrace on the right hand side. Now these terraces are actually relict floodplains that have been raised above the level that is regularly inundated by flooding due to a lowering of that river channel over the years. So I'm just going to look back where we've come from. We're standing on the active channel bank or flood bench, and then to the left hand side is a terrace or relict floodplain. So if you want to determine whether your activity is going to trigger a section 21C and or I water use, you'll need to employ an engineer to calculate or determine the outer edge of the 1 in 100 year floodline, as well as an aquatic specialist or ecologist to delineate the riparian habitat. If you don't want to go that route, then you'll need to pace out 100 meters from the edge of a watercourse, and that is the first identifiable annual bankful flood bench, which I've just shown to you now. I do recommend though using the department's practical field procedure for the identification and delineation of wetlands and riparian areas. Now just be warned, particularly if you are a developer, in terms of section 144 of the National Water Act, a person wanting to establish a township must show the 1 in 100 year floodline on their layout plan. Now let's consider Nema, or the amended 2014 EIA regs. Listed activity 12 of listing notice 1 and listed activity 14 of listing notice 3 will be triggered if the development thresholds are exceeded within a watercourse, or if no development setback exists, then within 32 meters of a watercourse measured from the edge of a watercourse. Now if you remember, a watercourse, or at least reference to a watercourse, includes its bed and banks. So logically, the Department of Environmental Affairs would most likely define the edge of a watercourse as its bank. But it isn't that simple. The morphology of a river channel can include an active channel bank and a macro channel bank. Here is the active channel bank, and this here is the macro channel bank, which is actually the outer bank of a compound channel. That's where you find the terrace raised above the flood bench that is regularly inundated by flooding. So which bank are they referring to? That is a question you'll have to pose the competent authority. However, the Department of Water and Sanitation do give us a clue, or at least shed some light on the matter. In terms of their opinion, the outer edge or the edge of that macro channel bank is a rough indicator of the outer edge of the riparian habitat. And if you recall, they considered the flood bench down here at my feet as the edge of the watercourse. That is the first identifiable annual bankful flood bench. Ladies and gentlemen, that was it. I hope it was helpful, and thank you for taking the time to watch it. If you have joined the MP or Nkosi tiers of our membership program, then you will receive an additional video. We actually go onto site and search for some of those field indicators for finding the boundary of a wetland and riparian areas. If you aren't a member yet, then check out our membership program on Patreon. Alternatively, you're welcome to visit our website if you're simply looking for an environmental consultant to help you with a once-off project. Then I recommend that you watch our previous video in the series. We took a look at protected plant permitting, a very important aspect to consider before clearing vegetation. That's down here at the bottom. I also recommend you watch our next video. We take a look at the timeframes required to complete a BA, EIA and water use license. Very important components of planning. That's going to be up here. And subscribe over there. Don't forget to click on the bell notification icon. If you did benefit from this movie, or you know of someone who can, please like it, just to help spread the message. Thank you so much for your support. Keep strong and God bless.